Something in your spirit has been insisting that good fortune is circling right over your shoulder, about to land. You've gone through the tears, the prayers, and the internal wrestling, so you can sense when something big is coming. God isn't teasing you. He's preparing you for a massive shift that you must protect. Chosen ones, there's a critical warning you need before this breakthrough arrives. Not everyone around you can be trusted to celebrate it. If you're with me for at least 12 minutes, I promise immediate insights to safeguard what's heading your way. Right now, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop 77 below to signal to the universe that you're open. Then leave another comment in your own words saying you're ready for what's next. By doing this, you'll ignite a chain reaction of blessings and accelerate a new season of transformation in your life. Chapter 1, you felt the urgency in your gut. You reached a point where the tension became too strong to ignore, like an invisible alarm ringing in your soul. You've sensed for weeks, maybe months, that something is shifting in the spiritual realm on your behalf. You look around, and on the surface, life seems the same. The same job, the same routine, the same circle. Yet deep within, you feel the surge and current pushing you forward. It's not the first time you've felt anticipation. Previously, you might have told friends or posted online the moment you sensed a breakthrough, only for it to fade away or be blocked entirely. This time, the feeling is more potent, but also more guarded. Every fiber of your being says you must hold it close or risk having the spark snuffed out by jealousy, doubts, or meddling from those who sense your impending blessing and want to intercept it. God placed this sense of urgency to keep you alert. In the past, you might have overlooked the subtle cues, random coincidences, repeated signs, or timely messages that almost shouted, "Get ready!" Now you understand these are not random events, but divine signals. You've grown enough to recognize that not all voices around you want your success. Some people fear your elevation because it highlights their own stagnation. Others see your favor as an asset they can siphon for themselves. Understanding this was painful but necessary. In your gut, you sense you must be even more discreet than before. Your normal impulse is to share good news with friends or family, but a quiet alarm warns you that certain ears are itching to twist your blessings for their gain. You might have experienced a minor blessing or a sign of improvement recently, like a random deposit, an unexpected job lead, or an out-of-the-blue favor from someone influential. This small token is confirmation that the big wave is coming. Yet your spirit says, don't blast it. Hold your tongue. Let it grow in secret. While the hush can feel isolating, it's actually a protective measure from God. Sometimes the blessings you carry are so sacred, they can't survive premature exposure to toxic energy. Even a close friend might unintentionally sabotage your progress by sowing seeds of doubt. Someone you thought was merely curious might be taking notes on how to intercept your opportunity. If you felt that subtle caution in your heart, that's the Holy Spirit urging you to keep your revelation under wraps, at least until it's fully formed. This sense of urgency is also a push to ready yourself internally, because once the blessing arrives, everything could change overnight. You'll need emotional stability, mental clarity, and spiritual grounding to handle the magnitude of what God is about to release. The wise approach is to focus on your character. Mend fractured relationships where you can, reaffirm your boundaries, strengthen your prayer life, and trust that you're not imagining things. Yes, your spirit is on high alert for a reason. You're about to experience something so life-changing, it'll redefine what you believe is possible, and you can't afford to let slip even a hint until you're fully equipped to receive it. Chapter 2. You're learning to hide your blessings before they bloom. You were once the open book of your group, telling everyone about your new project, the spark of a new romance, or that big job interview. You believed in collective excitement and hoped that sharing your journey would bring you closer to people. But time and experience taught you a different lesson. Not everyone in your circle is genuinely rooting for you. In fact, some are quietly rooting against you. You discovered that every time you eagerly announced a budding success, unseen forces, whether envy, sabotage, or simple negativity, would seem to derail it. This repeated heartbreak was your training ground. God. God allowed those disappointments to teach you the value of secrecy. In infancy, blessings, like seeds, need a protective environment to sprout. When you plant a seed, you don't yank it from the soil every few hours to show people it's growing. You let it develop away from prying eyes under the watchful care of the sun and water you provide. In the same way, your blessings thrive in silence, away from the constant scrutiny of doubtful minds and opportunistic souls. You might have overlooked how your own excitement could be weaponized against you. A random acquaintance at a gathering could overhear a snippet of your conversation and realize, they're about to get a huge payout. Maybe I can get a piece of that. Or a cousin who has always silently compared their life to yours might start subtle sabotage. Even people who don't actively intend harm can spread negativity through a skeptical remark or a condescending laugh. That negativity seeps into your subconscious, undermining your faith at a critical moment. By the time you realize it, you've lost the fierce belief you had, all from a stray comment you never even took seriously. Now you see how crucial it is to set up spiritual fences around your budding blessings. The moment you sense an idea forming, a new business plan, an inspired solution to a major life problem, or a promising relationship, you handle it like something precious and private. You carefully gauge who, if anyone, needs to know about it. Your prayer closet becomes your sounding board. You pour out your ideas before God rather than the crowd. This practice doesn't make you paranoid, it makes you discerning. Initially, the shift to secrecy can feel lonely. You miss the camaraderie of sharing your highs and lows openly. But God compensates for that with deeper intimacy in your prayer life. You get to experience the thrill of seeing your plans quietly unfold. A backstage pass to miracles that would have been snuffed out by too much outside meddling. If you absolutely must talk about it, confide in a select friend or mentor known for unwavering support and discretion, someone whose success also hinges on humility and closeness with God. Hiding your blessings before they bloom isn't about fear, it's about wisdom. By choosing to stay silent now, you ensure a triumphant reveal later, one that no cynicism or negativity can derail. When your secret seeds finally break the surface, strong and thriving, the same people who once scoffed or envied will stand in awe of what you and God accomplished together. In that moment, you'll be grateful you learned this vital lesson, that sometimes the path to your destiny demands a hush, so that the hush doesn't become your destiny's demise. Chapter 3, you must discern who seeks to block or hijack your breakthrough. You've had that nagging feeling about certain people, but gave them the benefit of the doubt because you wanted to see the good in everyone. Yet the more you observe, the clearer it becomes. Not all smiling faces are allies. Some folks hang around you solely to glean information about where you plan to invest your time, your heart, or your resources, so they can obstruct your success or exploit it for themselves. This is a harsh truth, but chosen ones learn it eventually. Your radiant spirit draws admirers, but it also attracts parasites and saboteurs. Look closely at the patterns. The coworker who always forgets to invite you to key meetings, the friend who changes the subject whenever you share a dream, or the relative who praises you in public but undercuts your confidence in private. Whether conscious or not, these individuals operate as stumbling blocks, sowing seeds of doubt or leeching onto your ideas. They might do it subtly, masquerading as concern or playing the devil's advocate, but God has sharpened your discernment so you notice the inconsistency in their spirit. Something just doesn't align with genuine support. Another type is the direct hijacker, the one who tries to claim your credit or resources for themselves. Suppose you share a new business idea with them in excitement. Next thing you know, they're implementing it without you or proclaiming it as their own. Or you mention a potential job opening, and they intercept the chance, applying behind your back. Yes, it's shocking how quickly loyalty dissolves under the lure of personal gain. But your heartbreak over these betrayals is also your teacher, guiding you to guard your blessings more carefully. To handle such individuals, you have to refine your circle. If you keep confiding in them even after your spirit raises red flags, then the outcome is partly on you. Learning to cut ties or impose strong boundaries isn't cruel. It's vital self-preservation. If they question why you're distant, you can give a gentle but firm answer, or none at all. You owe no one an explanation for safeguarding what God is doing in your life. Sometimes the simplest answer is living your truth in silence and letting results speak for themselves. One sign that someone might be a potential blocker is that your energy drains whenever they're around. You leave conversations feeling smaller or second-guessing your once crystal-clear plans. Another indicator is how they react to your small victories. Genuine supporters share in your joy. Cynics might minimize, pivot the spotlight back to themselves, or warn you about all that could go wrong. Watch these behaviors carefully. They often reveal more than blatant insults ever could. Remember, you're not paranoid. Even in biblical narratives, chosen vessels faced individuals who pretended friendship but worked to undermine them. In your case, if you see patterns, trust those observations. Discerning the difference between genuine cheerleaders and underhanded opportunists is essential. The latter will sabotage or hijack your blessing long before it fully materializes. So, implement strategic silence. Share only tidbits that align with God's prompting and keep your core plans hidden until they're unbreakable. By doing so, you give adversaries nothing tangible to attack, while your destiny quietly anchors itself into place. Chapter 4. You're standing on the verge of a miracle that requires prudence. You sense a coming shift that's more than mere good news. It's poised to renew your faith in ways you'd almost forgotten possible. The excitement in your spirit feels unstoppable, yet there's a divine caution prodding you to remain discreet. This is how God orchestrates miracles that require secrecy to flourish. Your heart wants to declare it to the world, but your soul insists on restraint. For now, reflect on biblical accounts where silence was vital. Jericho's walls fell only after careful strategies, not rash proclamations. Joseph's youthful boasting about his dreams led to betrayal before he ascended to influence. The bigger the blessing, the more critical the hush. A masterpiece under construction often remains hidden until it can bear public attention. Your life's miracle is under construction, so resist the urge to expose its delicate framework prematurely. During these waiting periods, impatience may flare. You feel compelled to share something, if only to ease tension. Sometimes you imagine telling a close friend, yet God's warning remains steadfast. Only a chosen few, if any, should know about this unfolding gift. Even well-meaning confidants might inadvertently pass on details, creating a ripple effect of rumors, envy, or spiritual resistance. Simultaneously, doubts can arise. Why hide if it's truly from God? The truth is, humility acts as a defense. Pride in the early stages is like constructing a roof on shaky pillars. It's bound to topple. By keeping silent, you adopt a posture of reverent gratitude, recognizing that this blessing comes by divine grace. You must also consider the unexpected responsibilities woven into new blessings. Think of receiving a significant promotion or stepping into a leadership role. Authority brings serious accountability. If everyone finds out prematurely, flattery, backbiting, or other diversions can derail you before you're equipped. Silence guides your focus, letting you mentally and spiritually prepare for the challenges ahead. A dream can quickly become a nightmare, shaped by external pressures instead of divine guidance. Therefore, exercise prudence. Ground yourself in prayer, spend time journaling, and immerse yourself in Scripture. Seek counsel from mentors who truly have your best interests at heart. Focus on developing the capacity, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, to steward the miracle entrusted to you. Over time, this blessing will mature, becoming strong enough to withstand scrutiny and be celebrated openly. In that moment, you can share your testimony without fear that careless chatter or jealousy will undermine it. All who are meant to rejoice with you will do so in sincerity. By then, your foundation will be solid and your humility intact, rendering any attempts at sabotage powerless. Until then, guard your precious miracle with quiet devotion, trusting that God will guide the timing of its unveiling. Such prudence is about fostering the right conditions for a miracle to bloom. Remember that your silence honors God's perfect timing. Once it does, you'll stand firm in gratitude, and nothing, no negative whispers or misguided judgments can steal what God has ordained for you. Chapter 5. You're about to see signs that your situation is protected. You once felt exposed, as though every promising hope slipped away before it could flourish. That vulnerability bred caution and suspicion about whether good things were truly meant for you. Yet now a cluster of small but unmistakable signs will assure you that your quietly developing miracle is both authentic and divinely safeguarded. These so-called coincidences are coded messages from God, urging you onward. One sign might be repetitive numbers, like 77 or 444 appearing right when doubts creep in, or a feather drifting by at the perfect moment, a rainbow arcs after you pray, or a stranger's offhand comment validates your secret plan. Each instance hits you with a chill of recognition, as if the universe itself is telling you your path is covered. Keep the faith. You may also see people or obstacles that previously blocked your progress fade from view. A troublesome coworker transfers departments, a draining family member focuses elsewhere, or you simply shake off negativity that once paralyzed you. Suddenly, you're not falling into old patterns. No fearful overthinking or compulsive oversharing. There's an inner calm, like a spiritual firewall filtering out harmful influences. Creativity bursts forth without warning. You might solve a long-standing issue at 3 a.m., or meet someone with precisely the insight or resources you need. What once seemed like isolated strokes of luck now form a pattern, proof of a larger protective hand orchestrating events. That realization bolsters your confidence. This miracle is real, and it's shielded from sabotage. Your inner compass also sharpens. You instinctively know who can be trusted with details of your progress. Nosy or negative people receive polite but firm boundaries. If you feel drained after an exchange, you gave away too much. When you leave with peace, you know your boundaries held. These signs quiet any lingering fear that you're merely being too cautious. The more your steps align and your heart stays calm, the more you sense you're in God's will. If you were off track, you'd feel tension and inner conflict instead of clarity and peace. Ultimately, these confirmations remind you that while you traverse unfamiliar territory, you do so under divine coverage. You don't need public validation or social media applause to confirm you're on the right road. The signs are enough to prove heaven's shield surrounds your dream. Treasure these tokens from above and rest confidently, knowing your destiny is far more protected than you once believed. Chapter 6. You must nurture your blessing in private until it's fully grown picture. Someone sheltering a fragile seedling from harsh elements until it's strong enough to face the outside world. That's how you must handle the emerging miracle in your life, quietly, with focused care. Though you may feel the urge to announce progress, your blessing needs private watchfulness, not public scrutiny. On a practical level, dedicate time to refine your plans or strengthen your spiritual core away from prying eyes. If you're launching a project, do the groundwork in the background. If love is blossoming, protect those early connections from social media's glare. Once something goes public, everyone's opinions can drown out your own intuition. God often shapes people privately before revealing them publicly. David tended sheep in solitude before his kingship. Mary bore the Son of God away from crowds until the appointed time. Nurturing your blessing in private develops strong roots that resist storms of envy, gossip, or ill-informed advice. It keeps you authentic, growing in genuine relationship with God's unfolding plan rather than staging a performance. Craving validation tempts you to offer clues or subtle brags. But that appetite for applause dilutes the pure joy of what's forming. The more outside opinions you entertain, the more you risk losing your sense of purpose. Safeguard key details. Journal them, pray over them, or share only with a mentor who truly supports you. Another benefit of privacy is freedom from others' shifting expectations. Public announcements can trigger judgments or demands that box you in. By remaining discreet, you're free to pivot as God's Spirit leads, unencumbered by external pressure. Your blessing can evolve naturally, not weighed down by the chorus of onlookers. As caretaker of your miracle, you must monitor its environment. Weed out negativity when it reappears. Step away from corrosive energies and embrace opportunities to refine your skills or knowledge. You can't expect a dream to thrive in an atmosphere choked by doubt or cynicism. Eventually, the time will come when your blessing has matured enough for public view, strong and stable, unshaken by trivial criticisms or manipulative power plays. You'll sense a calm assurance knowing it's ready. Revealing it then will be sweet, surprising those who never saw it coming and igniting hope in others who have yet to see their own seeds bloom. Chapter 7. You are poised for a grand unveiling that nobody can stop. You've done the hidden work, discerning which voices to trust, keeping silent when necessary, and nurturing your blessing away from prying eyes. Now the time has come for the curtain to lift on something so transformative that skeptics will have no choice but to step aside. This unveiling isn't a flashy spectacle. It's the irrefutable evidence of God's favor resting on you. Imagine a stage where you've rehearsed in the shadows, perfecting, fine-tuning, and laying a quiet foundation. Others caught faint hints but never grasped the magnitude of what you were building. Then, in one swift motion, the veil lifts, revealing a performance so electrifying that old assumptions about you crumble. Your silence wasn't about secrecy for secrecy's sake. It was a divine process needing space to mature. Now that quiet diligence pays off. In the wake of this reveal, alliances may form overnight. People who once overlooked you will scramble for your attention, hoping to partner or offer resources. Even if their motives vary, it confirms your shift's impact. Once fully visible in your new favor, your surroundings inevitably change. But remember, not everyone cheering is a friend, and not every critic is an enemy. Some are genuinely inspired, while others hope to ride your blessing without paying the same spiritual dues. Stay gracious yet anchored. Let neither praise nor criticism pull you away from your true calling. You may also discover unexpected compassion for those who tried to hinder your progress. Divine elevation often comes with grace to maintain your integrity. While you can forgive and even offer help from your new vantage point, you don't reopen doors to sabotage. Compassion doesn't require forfeiting boundaries. By letting go of bitterness, you soar without extra weight, letting your life testify to the supremacy of divine orchestration over human schemes. Inevitably, you look back with profound gratitude. You recall sobbing nights, stifled confessions, and lonely seasons where faith was your only anchor. All those moments converge now in a radiant confirmation. God never left your side. Your blessing stands and no one can reverse it. That truth outshines any applause or fortune. It's the knowledge that your quiet steps laid an unshakable bedrock beneath your destiny. At last, you step forward without hesitation, the transformation complete. In one decisive moment, you transcend old limits, embodying what happens when faith, wisdom, and timing unite. You needed this message before the blessing arrived so you'd be prepared to shield it, honor it, and enter the new era God has ordained. Your moment is here. Let the unveiling begin and witness how your testimony ripples through the years ahead.